Had one of these flashlights, really bright flashlight. Takes 4 lithium batteries. I actually use old laptop batteries for them. And the light itself is only, all the positives are up, so it's only the 3.7 volts is what the light LEDs require to work. But I had a problem and it stopped working, and I detected what was wrong. It was a little switch, a little chip that was right here, burnt out and popped. And I believe what that was is that's what operated the switch. This light here had different modes to it. There's a little switch. It had different modes. So it would have a low, a high, a blinking. So it's a really good flashlight, and it wasn't all that cheap. I think it was $60. So instead of saying it's over in garbage, I'm going to actually do some bypassing here, and I'm going to eliminate the switch, put my own switch in there. And what I had to actually do was find the continuity between the ground. The way it sits now, the ground's not getting connected through, so the lights will not work. So what I'm going to end up doing is, on this side of the switch, don't mind my speech, I have the flashlight under my chin so everyone can see it a little better. Here's the switching wires, but they're no longer going to work because it's basically going to go through this circuit board, which the circuit board I'm going to basically eliminate. They're only LED lights, and my only concern is to make these LED lights come on and use as a flashlight. I don't really need the blink mode, and I don't need the low mode and all the different other modes they have. I only need the flashlight to come on and turn off. That's it. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to bypass all the circuitry, and on the switch that went bad, little chip that went bad, on this side here is actually the ground. So what I'm going to do is start up my soldering gun, and I'm going to put some flux on it and put a glob of solder on here, and I'm going to remove the ground wire from here, and I'm going to place it over to here. But before I do that, I'm going to remove these wires, and I'm going to put a switch in between this here and the ground, and then I'm going to have a flashlight again, and it's no longer garbage. It's going to be back working good. So I'm going to do that. I'm doing some battery charging, so I'm just using a little small inverter and a soldering iron here. Let me just show you this. Oh boy. Steam up effect, my breath. So I just have a little inverter set up here, along with my soldering station here, and a 12 volt battery here. But what I don't know yet is if this little inverter is going to be able to handle my soldering station. So we're going to see. I'm going to start it up, see what happens. Poor lighting. Let me see how good you can see this. Oh, you're not going to be able to see it in details, that's for sure. If I hone in on it a bit, man. I'm going to try and wipe off the lens again. Try not to breathe so heavy. It's going to be pretty difficult to see, I think. Well, just bear with me. I kind of showed you what I was going to do, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Might not be able to get a good image of it, but that's okay. Let's get some solder. In case nobody knows, whenever you're working with soldering gun and solder, this stuff here is the flex. Very, very important. Here's the LED light, and this is that flash mode I'm talking about. Let me see. See, I don't need that mode. So basically I'm going to eliminate that mode. I'm going to eliminate this mode, and I only want this mode on. Okay? little bit of flux on there. Excess goes back into the container. I'm going to pull one of these wires off. Actually, I'll be pulling both off. I don't need them. And I'm not going to be very careful because I don't need to be. There's one. There's two. Extra security. I'm going to dip this end here into the flux. There we have it there. Now I'm going to remove this other ground wire here because I don't need it. Like I said, I'm eliminating the circuit board completely. Be right back. I need to get a little wire stripper. So just to try it out, I'm not going to put the switch in right now because I actually don't have a switch. So I'm just going to put these two wires and give them a twisty together. And I'm just going to basically put it back together here. And basically what should happen is when I screw the batteries on, the light should just come on. There we have it. It's a worker. But unfortunately I can't turn it off right now. So I need to put a switch in that wire. And I can't use the old switch because it's really a special little switch. It's not really a switch, it's kind of finger sensitive really, is how it works. It doesn't have any little click to it. But there it is. Back with an excellent flashlight. So if anybody has one of these flashlights, this one here is a Skyray King. It's a Skyray King. It has the 4 LED lights in it. It's extremely bright. That's what you're going to want to do to it instead of throw it away. Just bypass that circuitry and you'll lose your modes. But like I say, I don't need the modes. When am I going to use a blinking light? When am I going to use that? That's completely useless to me. It's of no good at all. I don't even understand why they have them. But just the same, don't need that. All I want to do is turn on and turn off. And this little switch doesn't have this click. This little switch doesn't do that. So I'm going to have to find some kind of switch for this. So that's enough for the video, and you guys got the idea. And thank you for watching, and subscribe if you have not. Well, back with the flashlight, I end up using the same switch, so it's not actually a switch. In order to make the light come on now, I have to keep the button pushed, and then the light works. So that's okay. I can't push it and leave it on. I have to turn it on by keeping it pushed. So that's alright. I would rather have used the switch that came with the light. It screws in there nice, and you know, it blends together good. So that's alright. To come on, I just have to push it on. That's fine.